Welcome, everybody, to Casting for Two, as always, hosted by me, Chris. Welcome to episode number 245. Fun fact, that was the time I got off. Was it elementary school? Yeah, 245. I'm Chris, as always, hosting. Welcome. As always, if you'd like to keep up with everything I do, you can do that on my Twitter and Instagram, both at Casting for Two. I'm starting, or I am not starting, but I am also part of the constantly calibrating stream team over on Mixer. So if you go to mixer.com/MrCMH93, you can watch me play video games or hang out, build Lego sets. Why not? So yeah, I've been doing that for a bit. And of course, I can't, the new podcast that I'm doing with one Josh Silverman, the head of Constantly Calibrating, it's called Ramble Jam, and that is every Wednesday at 5 Pacific, 8 Eastern on Wednesdays, and it's always streaming live on Mixer. Again, just, look out for my tweets. And so far, we're having a fun time doing that show. It's just Josh and I rambling for an hour. That's all it is. Fun time. It's like this intro, but just a little bit longer. But I should actually talk about my guest for today. My guest is Tay Barrett, and she is a wonderful writer, director, actress, editor, producer, just everything all rolled into one. She has a new show coming out here pretty soon on HereTV called Work in Progress. And it's a fascinating show that I'm excited to wait, but it's not out yet until April 27th. But I would recommend people check that out when it is available. But I had a lovely time chatting with her. But let's just get into this episode, all right? So, Chris, cue the music, please. I am doing very well. How about yourself?
I'm good. Happy Thursday.
Oh my gosh, the happiest of Thursdays to you too.
Thanks.
Monday gets a lot of crap because it's Monday.
Well, for good reason. It's Monday. It's it's a hard day after the joy of the weekend to get back to work, right?
I feel like we should blame. We need to shift blame from Monday to Sunday because Sunday's ending it all. We should be mad at Sunday.
Wow, this is a paradigm shift, and I feel shook.
Either that, or we should get mad at Friday for being like, how dare you bring the weekend on?
Get mad at Friday? Are you mad?
You know what? I am mad. That is, I said that, and I was like, nah, Friday's always been good to me.
Okay. Yeah, what did Friday ever do to you? Just bring you happiness.
But I don't know if you watched Doug growing up, but there was an episode where he actually created a day after Sunday.
Oh, really? I don't remember that. I was a devout Doug watcher.
Were you? Yeah, he called it Fun Day.
Oh, let's bring that back.
Could we? How hard would it be to create a whole new day? I mean, look.
Can't possibly be that difficult to just change the entire calendar system.
I mean, sure, you'd have to buy a new calendar, but other than that, I mean, come on.
Well, yeah, I think, this is us taking a stand right here, right now. Fun day.
Fun day after Sunday. So then we can be like, okay, we get it.
Wow. You and I are on the same page about this, Chris. I feel good.
I don't know what's more probable, having flying cars or adding a new day to the week. I feel like they're both equally tasking.
Wow. Now we're going into futurism and technological advancement.
Look,
we're just This is
I'm
intense.
sorry if this was not the podcast you signed up for. I only ask the hard hitting questions and reference Doug. Okay, that's all I do.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, well, I'm ready for it.
All
Bring
right,
it
sounds good. But so how? So I'm very curious with people's sleep schedule.
on.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so what? A, what's your sleep schedule like? And then B, how many hours of sleep do you need to feel like you've gotten enough?
Mm-hmm. Well, in my family, we say that your tomorrow begins when you go to bed.
Okay.
So it really sets the stage for how good you feel the next day. So I'm a big fan of getting enough sleep.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean I necessarily go to bed at a good hour, but I try to get 8 sleep hours in total.
Okay.
Last night, I think I went to bed at like 12. Uh, with my girlfriend, we watched a little bit. What did we watch? Might have been a little John Oliver, and
Okay.
then fell asleep after, and then woke up at 9. So not too crazy. I mean, I'm a freelancer, so that's one of the benefits. I can make my own schedule.
There you go. I think 8 is good. That's if I get any more than 8, then I'm tired through the rest of the day, and I don't feel like doing anything.
Yeah, sleepy, groggy. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I think my sweet spot is like 6 hours. That's what I try to get.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'd be a monster if I just got 6 hours.
yeah. I find that sometimes if I'm working, the less sleep I get, the more awake I am because I guess I'm just running off adrenaline. But I know that once my day is done, I'm gonna crash at 11 and it'll be
Mm.
fine.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, that sounds reasonable to me.
I think so. I think so.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I like to discuss on the podcast is when individuals find the thing that they love. So
Uh-huh.
for you, when did you know acting was something that you wanted to pursue?
Well, I grew up in LA and my dad owned a talent agency and my mom was an actress.
Hmm.
So there was a lot of love for that profession. And I think it was always kind of assumed that I would move into it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I grew up going to acting classes, summer theater programs, plays at school. Uh, and I did that all throughout college. I didn't study acting in college formally, but I was on the sketch team, the
Mm-hmm.
improv team. I did a lot of student films. Um, and I thought that's what I wanted to pursue. But then after I graduated from college, I realized my main passion was kind of throwing the party, like writing, directing,
Mm.
producing the work,
Yeah.
and acting in it. So I still like to act, but I wouldn't say that acting is my primary focus. It just is one piece of this larger puzzle of storytelling for me.
Right. And it's smart because I feel like people who understand the behind the scenes process ultimately strengthens them. With your acting, you know what you're looking for because you wrote it, you're directing it. So it's like, okay, I know what I need.
Yeah, totally. It's good and it's bad too, though, to wear so many hats sometimes.
Mm.
Um, uh, do, Sometimes, it's hard to fully invest in the scene if I'm aware of like the direction and momentum, pacing, etc. Even also, I edit my work when I
Hmm.
direct, so then I'm aware of edits. Moving forward in my career, I'd like to delegate a little bit more, not be so much of a control freak, um, so I can focus on one of those things at a time.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, do you have a hard time watching yourself when you're editing?
Honestly, at this point, I've just become numb to it. It's like I'm watching another person.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I.
When I'm in the editing bay, I look at my face, I hear my voice, but it's like I'm, working on coverage of a different person. I have to, otherwise I couldn't edit. I couldn't edit my own work if every time I saw myself on screen, I cringed.
Right. A buddy of myself and a buddy of mine were working on a project that we wrote. We were directing, and I'm pretty comfortable with acting. So when I'm watching it, I'm just like, hey, that guy has my face, and he's kind of keeping up. Good for him.
Yeah. And he's handsome. Look at that guy.
Man,
Wow.
I wish I could date that
Handsome
man.
dude.
I wonder why he's single. No, anyway. So, but my buddy the entire time is messaging me about his face and like, why did he do this? And I'm just like, dude, just deal with it, man. It's you. Just like you knew this was gonna happen. But yeah, like yourself, I'm just like, yeah, that's a guy. He's there.
Yeah, it's a coping mechanism. Uh,
And you mentioned you did some kind of a sketch group work.
yeah, at Northwestern,
Mm-hmm.
I was on the Northwestern Sketch Television
Mm-hmm.
group, and it was a group of us. It was written by students, directed, sound designed, edited, and I was one of the actors on the group. So a whole bunch of sketches exist somewhere in the cloud of me as a college kid doing these sketches. And it was really fun. I learned a lot in that process. I still work with a lot of the people that I met in that group, like the guy, my friend Stephen Ling, I met in the sketch group, and he was the DP of my show that's coming out, Work in Progress.
Mm-hmm. And
So it
so
was a great community.
yeah, it's like comedy in general has always I've always had a fascination for, but sketch comedy is unique in the sense that you need to be quick. It's like I can't think of what I'm going to do. I just need to do it, and hopefully it works out. But then you have people around you that are also supporting you, which is just great.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I mean, the improv training that I had at Northwestern, we did long form improv. That I think really helped me uh, feel comfortable making choices quickly, taking risks, and even though that was live, it was like spontaneous writing. So
Mm-hmm.
that has helped me these days when I write. All that training, that foundation.
And so when you're let's say transition to doing you said you mentioned you're doing a show right now, but
Yeah.
you also did a web series as well, right?
Yes. Tiny Nuts.
Mm-hmm.
A fond project from my earlier years, just like a couple years ago.
Yeah. So long ago.
Yeah, so long ago. I was so young and stupid then. Yeah, after college graduation, a friend and I were living together and kind of bored, kind of aimless, a little sad that college was over,
Yeah.
and we just started kind of riffing. Um, she's very funny, Caroline Goldfarb, and we created this 9 episode web series, and it was a lot of fun. We did it with no budget.
Mm-hmm.
We invited our friends to help out, and it's a tale about female friendship.
Mm-hmm. And so when you're working on your first web series and then working on the show that you did now,
Hmm.
was there a lot of like, oh, okay, I didn't like it this way, I can now do it this, a lot of growing in between, I guess.
Oh God, so much growing. So much growing. I mean, it's good and it's bad. It's good because I'm growing, thank God, but it's bad because I look back at my previous work and I go, "Oh no, why did you make that choice?" And that choice, come on.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm a firm believer in just starting, just making work and having confidence and trusting in the process, knowing that you will get better.
Mm-hmm.
And that with each project, you will learn things and apply them to the next. So yeah, I learned so much from Tiny Nuts about how to direct, how to work with a crew. Um, I also edited that project with some friends, so I learned a lot about how to be an editor. I couldn't have done the show that I did recently had I not started with Tiny Nuts.
Mm-hmm. And the show you did recently, what was it called again?
Yeah, it's called Work in Progress.
Okay. And so what is it hard to write like a full, like a couple of episodes, because you don't want to a filler episode or anything like that. You want like these episodes to count. Was it hard to get the script down?
Hmm. Well, it was the process was interesting
Hmm.
because Tiny Nuts was 9 episodes, and each episode was about 5 to 10 minutes long,
Yeah.
short,
Yeah.
little pieces. And then my friend John Margiano from HereTV invited me to create a TV show.
Hmm.
He wanted 6 episodes at half-hour length.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, hey, how hard can that be?
Yeah.
No problem. Uh, I was in Bulgaria at the time as a camera operator working on a documentary,
Hmm.
and I was like, sure, whatever. Everything sounds good. Um, because it was just so distant and I was invested in what I was doing and I didn't really like think about how challenging it would be.
Yeah.
Um, and it was it was a lot more difficult than writing little tiny sketches. And truthfully, the first 6 episodes of television I've ever written, we made. Like those were produced. So
Uh-huh.
that's how new I was to writing TV. Uh, and I had to learn along the way. I watched a lot of TV. I was a voracious TV watcher for a
Hmm.
good period, watching a whole bunch of pilots and center cuts and stuff. And it was challenging, but I'm really glad that I naively said, "Yeah, hey, how hard can that be? Let's go." Because now we have 6 episodes, half hour, and I'm just so thrilled. Like so many of my friends really helped with the process. Everybody kind of jumped in because you know we didn't have the biggest budget, so everybody had to be a little crafty and wear many hats,
Right.
and it really was a community effort.
And what were some of the shows that you were watching like crazy?
Mm.
I'm curious.
Well, let's see. I watched a lot of
Mm.
Seinfeld, Curb Your Enthusiasm. I was watching Veep, Transparent. What else? What else? Um, yeah, so I was keeping myself busy. I was watching TV for homework, which is not so bad.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's for work. Leave me alone. I'm watching TV.
Yeah, I'm watching TV in my PJs. I'm very busy right now. Thank you very much.
You know what? Now I'm going to use that excuse. It's
Oh
it's
my God, yeah. Take
it's
it.
it's it's homework. Whatever. Just put a
Oh,
laptop in front of you and pretend like you're typing.
yeah, run with that. Seriously. Yeah, just enjoy that. It's a great excuse.
And so I'm curious, as far as projects go, like movies, film, or I should say, writing, directing. Is there one project if you could go back in time and work on,
Hmm.
whether it's movies, television, which one would that be?
Mm. That's a very fun question. I fantasize about working with a lot of different people
Hmm.
and imagining how they would run their set. Um, Immediately, I thought of Christopher Guest. I
Okay,
would have
yeah.
loved to have worked on Best in Show.
Mm.
I just think that is such a sly comedy, and it's so genius. I would have loved to have seen that because I know they also incorporated so much improv,
Yeah.
and that seems so challenging to me. I would love to see how a master, like made that happen. Same with Curb. Like I'm very fascinated with the idea of having an outline and then letting talented actors create spontaneous dialogue.
Right.
That seems so hard to me. Like I would love to see how that would work.
I would love to see because they must do long takes. I would love to see the
Yeah.
takes that don't work.
Yeah, those would be as instructive as the takes that do work for sure.
I'll get Larry David on the line. He'll do it. It's no we're besties. We're always
Oh,
texting.
oh my God. Amazing. I can't wait for all of us to grab lunch.
Yeah, and then we'll talk. Yeah, oh yeah. Larry David's a real social guy, so yeah, he'll hang out with us, no problem.
Yeah, he won't be annoyed in the least.
Mm-mm, mm-mm. Uh, as far as story wise,
Mm-hmm.
now for you, what make the elements of a good, compelling story?
Mm-hmm. I think the bedrock of a compelling story is change, to
Mm-hmm.
see a character undergo some type of personal transformation. Um, That to me is always satisfying to watch, especially if they arrive, if they overcome some type of obstacle in the way, in the process. I think we turn to stories to soothe ourselves, to help us in the real world
Hmm.
come to terms with challenges that we're facing. So I think that a story on screen or in a book or in a comic, whatever, in which a character is faced with a challenge, overcomes it, and is, a more whole self at the end, that's always a good tale.
Yeah, it's funny because I mean, I my parents were very pro movie growing up, so a lot of my life lessons and how to deal with things did come from certain movies. Now, I'm not going to say I learned all my life lessons from movies because
Mm,
that would be kind of
yeah,
sad.
yeah.
But still, I do think that there is a lot of truth in movies. So
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They set an example. They provide a framework sometimes for us to work out our own insecurities and issues if we can kind of put ourselves in the lead role of whatever we're watching or digesting. Absolutely.
now, after finishing the show, do you have any? I'm sure you do. Any goals, that you would like to see yourself accomplish?
Hmm. Well, the goalpost always moves, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's one of the challenges of staying sane as an artist. Like, I wanted to create, in the back of my head, I did want to create a show by the time I was 30.
Hmm.
Hey, I did that. That's
Yay.
awesome. But what's next? So, I really had a good time making TV, and I would like to create another show and have more support, like more financial support, I guess, and like just more help. Like I hopefully moving forward won't always have to edit my own work,
Right.
won't always have to like figure out what we're eating for lunch on set.
Granola
Like,
bars again.
yeah, I mean, I I I got so many tacos, so many days for set. People were like, "Hey, can we try something else?" And I was like, "You figure it out, okay? I have a lot going on.
Yeah.
Um, everybody likes a chicken taco. Back off."
I mean, look, I would take a chicken taco. I'm just happy to be here, people. Thank you. I will take that.
Yeah. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, no
You're
problem.
invited
Yeah,
to set. Um,
I will be the hardest working PA. And I,
honestly, I take it. I had like a couple PAs.
it's fun. So my after I graduated film school, I did film school in Canada, and then I had to come back to the States because of my student visa.
Mhm.
And all my buddies that I went to class with were complaining about PA work and it's not what I want to do. I'm like, bitch, do you want to trade? Because I would gladly do PA work right now. I don't care. I will do it.
Yeah. Yeah, you learn a lot as a PA. When I first got to LA, I did some PA work.
Hmm.
It was hard.
Yeah.
It was really hard. And honestly, it was physically demanding. And I'm 5'3" and a half. And like it was tough because mainly it's like wrenching equipment and like
Yeah.
moving stuff and it's a hard job. I give PAs major credit.
Carrying more than one C stand it sucks. It sucks.
Honestly, impossible for me. I make an awful PA.
It's like
I'm like so weak.
it's like if the object was to see how many things I hit with a C stand, then yes, I will do that.
Yeah.
But
For sure, for
but
sure. When I do my documentary work these days and like run around, with my camera and gear, my gear is like all super lightweight. Like
mm,
I can't have heavy stuff because I just can't lift it.
mm.
Sad.
Well, it's yeah. I mean, it depends what kind of camera you're rocking. I mean, if you're using one of the mirrorless ones, oh my gosh, those don't weigh anything. You can just slap a backpack on you and go.
Oh yeah, I mean my camera is tiny. I have a Sony A7S too, so it's teeny tiny and very powerful. And that's actually what we shot the show on, Work
Oh,
in
okay.
Progress. Yeah,
I,
so
I'm a
it's
Sony fan, so I know exactly what camera you're talking about.
absolutely it's a mighty little
It
beast.
is. Oh my god, it's such a nice camera. But that we'll save camera talk for another show. Okay.
Fair enough. We don't need to nerd out right now.
No, maybe a little, but no, that's okay. So for the people at home who would like to keep up with everything you do and also catch the show, where can
Mhm.
they do that?
Mhm. The show is going to air on HereTV, the LGBT cable network, and it'll also be available online, streaming on Amazon and HereTV's app. And it'll probably air April 27th.
Mm.
And it'll air one episode a week. So 6 weeks of work in progress fun. And then people can keep up with me. I kick around on the internet. I'm on Insta and Twitter, and that's all at Taylor S. Barrett.
Yeah, and as far as I know, we talked about writing shows, but as far as let's just say you like all your episodes, but was there one
Mhm.
episode that kind of came together really quickly,
Hmm.
or
Came
or
together
or I guess not
quickly.
really quickly, but the pieces kind of fell a little bit better than the others?
Oh, I see. I see. Well, I love all of the episodes in different ways. One we shot on my uncle's farm,
Hmm.
Berry Farm in Oregon. That's episode
Wait, what
4.
part of Oregon?
Boring. So
Boring.
it's
Okay.
right outside of Gresham.
Yeah, I'm from Salem.
Oh, right on. Oregon is so gorgeous.
God, I love
And
best weather.
it's the best. And I love escaping there.
Yeah.
Yeah, best weather. I love escaping LA, go to the countryside.
Yeah.
Uh, so I love that about episode 4. My character decides to understand the life of a farmer. And so she trails her uncle, which is actually played by my real uncle, Tony Shadeen, who is truly a berry farmer, not an actor. I can't believe I convinced him to do the role, but he's so amazing. He should have been an actor. Maybe he'll have a second career.
There we go.
But I think my favorite episode is episode 3, which I dedicate to Hillary Clinton, low key.
Yeah.
But it's my character tries to investigate the disparity in how men and women are treated in the workplace. And she, through a myriad of ways, but she interviews people, women in different professions, like musicians and scientists, as well as strippers. So both ends of the social spectrum. And she also tries to figure out if men are hired over women for
Ooh.
certain jobs. And so she makes a point by applying for the same job as herself and then donning basically a costume like as a guy.
Yeah.
So yes, I get to dress up as a little man with a mustache and a tiny suit.
Yeah.
And I think I make a very attractive guy, kind of like Ryan Gosling.
Don't you? Oh my gosh, Ryan Gosling.
He's a very pretty man. I mean,
God.
I could never be as pretty as Ryan Gosling, but I do my best. And the episode is it's farcical, it's fun, but it also addresses a very serious issue,
Yeah.
which is men and women experience the working world differently because of discrimination and prejudice. And so it's my attempt at kind of unraveling that conversation in a lighthearted way.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy that in 2018, we're still having the issues that we have had for many, many, many years, and it's just bonkers to me. I don't know. It should not be this way. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah. Men and women should earn equal money for
Hmm.
the same job. It's even worse for women of color. They earn less than white women for the same job. So it's it's a tough issue.
Hmm.
And I think society's beginning to do the work. Like I'm so impressed with the Me Too movement.
Yeah.
Just so blown away by the stories and the bravery. So we're moving in the right direction.
I definitely agree. Yeah. Hopefully, that and our younger generation will continue picking up the pieces that was left in front of us. So
For sure. The kids, oh my God, give the kids power. They got it. They got it
Right.
going on.
Kids are the future. We're already the past. So
We're over. We're done.
yeah, that's it. We're whatever. It's all good. But hey, Taylor, thank you so much for chatting with me. If you ever want to come back on and talk about anything other than cameras, then yeah, you're absolutely welcome to.
Well, Chris, what a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast. I love the work you're doing. You're interviewing cool people. It's always fun to kind of peel back the veil on the creative process. Yeah, I would love to come back.
No, I appreciate that. I just like to chat with cool people. That's always been my goal. Like, is this guy cool? All right, I'll talk to him.
Yeah, right on. It's a good excuse. I feel that way too.
But I'll let you go and have continue the rest of your day. Hopefully, it's watching more TV for study purposes.
Oh yes, very important business day ahead.
There we go. Well, you have a good day. All right.
Thanks. Take care.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye.